To end homelessness, we need proper, adequate mental health services. We need cheap or free addiction services. Things that do not change remain the same, and that's what we have, the same old failed remedies over and over again. That we need a new way of looking at addictions. We need a new way of looking at mental health issues. We just don't do it, and we need to do it now. We need adequate care for the profoundly mentally ill and those who are duly diagnosed profoundly mentally and physically. We do not have that now, so we have this problem. We also need to set up, when people are disinstitutionalized, especially from penal institutions, they are properly ready to go back into society. We don't do that. I cannot tell you by doing just that what we would save and what the difference we would make. And it isn't always about low-cost housing. It isn't always about houses. The people that I serve don't have any money, cannot afford any housing. We have people that are just left out on the street because people can no longer care for them. We do need places for those who cannot take care of themselves to go. Since we do not have any places for these people to go, where do you think they're going to end up? On the streets. We don't need the bad word institution. Institution can be a good word. We just choose to make it a bad word. So we need places that the criminally, mentally ill can go to and to be cared for, so you don't have them on the streets. How cruel is that?
Oh, Miss Lucy, dead and gone, left me here to weep and moan. Sally up, and bring Sally down, last done talk, gotta tell the ground. Sally up, and bring Sally down, last done talk, gotta tell the ground.
Millions of our tax and charitable dollars are wasted on an ineffective programming. It's got to stop. People that are sick need care. They don't receive care, they end up going nowhere. This is not something that a brain surgeon can't figure, if you're not a brain surgeon, you can't figure out. And it just blows my mind that people with masters in social work who work in this field know the problems and do nothing. I don't see how they cannot not do nothing. They know it needs to be changed. It needs to be changed today. And everybody needs to ask, why aren't the right things being done? Why aren't they? We need to hold agencies accountable. Where does the money go? It looks nice on paper. They're not breaking any laws that way. But it just isn't working. If it isn't working, let's stop it and have a vitally new enterprise of doing it right. We don't need more money, we need less money, but we need it properly done. And that's my big beef. Now, when we pass the street up here, we're starting to get into a lot of areas that sometimes I stop at. If I see somebody in the street, I'll pull over and see how they're doing if I know they're a street person. A street person is a person who makes their living on the street. Homeless don't tend to do that. So, a lot of my street people will help me with my homeless people, where other people don't. They'll tell me where somebody's at, where they're hiding. So there are a lot of things we can do, we just aren't. We think we have to do it this way or that way. We think we have to warehouse them. It hasn't worked yet, so quit doing it. Just quit it. And try something that does work. What do we have to lose? The majority fall through the cracks instead of the minorities. And it should be the other way around. But I don't think anybody should have to fall through the cracks. Homelessness should not exist. And we should not tolerate it. We think nothing of tolerating that. Because they're dirty and they're smelly. Street people are there. I've never met one street person who wasn't there because they wanted to be in these 28 years. They're there because they want to be. My homeless, I've never met one who wanted to be in 28 years. But people get that confused. Those are earned their living on the streets, pimps, prostitutes, which this city is full of. Drug pushers, shakedown artists, they're there because they want to be. That's how they earn their living. And we have a lot of crime on the street. Indianapolis is full of it. And you don't hear anybody speak of that. The newspapers never write about it. The agencies never tell you. I wonder if they even know about it. I still say we need a dedication to the truth when it comes to this problem. It shouldn't be about an agency's funding. It should be knowledge that everybody knows about. What the public doesn't hear, it doesn't know about. And I think it's the job of the media. The media leaders, the political leaders, social service leaders, and religious leaders have got to get out and see what really goes on. We have a lot of homeless in the Broad Ripple area. We have a lot of raves in that area, a lot of keyholes, which are where they go to do ecstasy and K, and that is something else. That's very prevalent in one part of the city. We have a lot of meth labs. When you're walking the streets and are out at night doing these things, you're in it. That's when you know that evil exists. And for evil to exist, it just takes one person to do nothing.